You know what that means. Let me know if you can hear me, and we'll get this show on the road. All right. I got the bat signal. Thank you so much. Thanks for holding me down. Let's do this thing proper like. You know how we.
God is dawn. Like and subscribe. Comment some night. Loving this light. This God is dawn. God is dawn. God is dawn.
Peace, world, peace. Yes. Welcome or welcome back. I am Goddess Dawn, the warrior. That's right. And I'm back live on this Thursday, August 12th, 2021 with part two of how the music industry enabled R. Kelly. Now, if you missed part one earlier today, I encourage you to go check that out after this live. I'm basically just going to continue where we left off, but if you missed the first half, you can go back and catch up. Not a big deal. Now, we're getting into the employees and whatnot. Now, for those of you who weren't aware of the part one of this live, basically, we're going over some information from an article. Let me pull that up. This is from the Chicago Tribune, and this was published in January of 2019. And this more so exposes a lot of the music industry executives and really people on all different levels of the spectrum in the industry, and giving us an idea of how many blind eyes were actually turned. And from what we've read so far, there have been plenty. So I want to just keep this thing going. Okay, I'm actually now trying to look in the chat on my phone, so I don't have to keep flipping screens. Let's see how this works. All right, here we go. Kelly's aides helped keep his music life separate from his sex life. Their complicity has allowed him to maintain his entourage of 3 to 5 women at a time. The women have lived with him in Chicago and Atlanta or traveled with him to gigs. They've typically been young African-American women, often aspiring musicians or models who believed he could launch their careers. Cheryl Mack, one of Kelly's former assistants, worked as a talent manager in Atlanta before working for Kelly for almost a decade, starting in 2005. Mack declined multiple interview requests, but detailed her tenure in a book proposal acquired by The Post. In it, Mack named 6 women whose comings and goings in Kelly's orbit she coordinated using a debit card from Kelly's bank account. So Cheryl Mack had a book proposal. She was shopping a book, and they the press got their hands on it. I don't know if I knew that. So let's continue. One of the women was an artist, Mack said. She managed a 17-year-old rapper from Atlanta. So Cheryl Mack was also a manager, and we know that her son is London on the Track, the producer, right? Okay. Let me read that again. One of the women was an artist, Mack said. She managed a 17-year-old rapper from Atlanta. Mark introduced her to Kelly, but after the relationship became abusive, the teenager reached settlement with Kelly, she wrote. So Cheryl Mack managed a 17-year-old female rapper from Atlanta. She introduced her to R. Kelly, but after the relationship became abusive, the teenager reached a settlement. So Cheryl Mack was like a madam, serving up girls. And that may have been her role as a quote-unquote manager, a cover for really just funneling him new talent. And I'm disgusted. All right. Andrew Staples, welcome. Okay, I'm just checking the chat real quick, making sure. Okay. And it says, while the aspiring artists believed they were going to be connected with industry players, Kelly in reality isolated them from even studio hands. He expected them to follow his rules, which were told to The Post by multiple women who lived with Kelly. The live-in girlfriends refer to him as daddy. They must ditch their social media and hand over cell phones and cut off families and friends. They are told to avoid looking at other men, even a hotel employee delivering room service. They must text either Kelly or an assistant if they want to leave their rooms or exit one of the black Mercedes cargo vans he travels in. In parentheses, it says Kelly is terrified of flying. When he's in the studio, these rules have left Kelly's women stuck in bathrooms, stranded for hours, hungry, and forced to urinate into cups. Kelly's management said the allegation of rules was absolutely false and added, "Why are you asking Mr. Kelly to speak for women who can speak for themselves?" And if you recall earlier in the article, we know that he declined to speak. R. Kelly did, by the way. We just want to make sure we say that. Some in Kelly's camp told the Post that they never interacted with the young women who were ever present in the studio, other than to occasionally bring food deliveries to their rooms. But other accusers say they were those who knew of Kelly's ways. Lisa Van Allen says she was 17 when she began a 9-year relationship with Kelly in 1998. She says she confided in Kelly's publicist, Regina Daniels. Okay, so we have a publicist, Beautiful Spirit. The Beautiful Spirit's been taking notes of all these handlers. So Regina Daniels, she was his publicist. It says she confided in Kelly's publicist, Regina Daniels, about the underage girl she says was in the videotape that landed Kelly in court. Daniels, who no longer works for Kelly, declined to comment. It's no surprise that she no longer works for Kelly. Now, Daryl McDavid, Kelly's business manager from the early 1990s until 2013, has not hesitated to take on Kelly's accusers. And we know that Daryl McDavid is a co-defendant in the Illinois federal case, right? In 2008, after Van Allen testified, or is it the state case? I'm sorry. He's in he and Milton Brown are both co-defendants in the Illinois case. So it goes on. Daryl, I think it's the federal case. All right, so let's see. In 2008, after Van Allen testified against Kelly at his child pornography trial, McDavid released a statement calling her, quote, an admitted thief and liar who wouldn't know the truth if she tripped over it. McDavid also got involved in the case of Geronda Pace. In 2008, Pace, then known as Geronda Johnson, was a 15-year-old superfan who attended Kelly's child pornography trial. She was thrilled when he was found not guilty. In quotes, they can't call him a pedophile anymore. End quote, she told MTV News at the time. In reality, jury foreman Jamon Mitty says that Kelly was acquitted because the girl alleged to be in the video did not testify. I think we all agreed that it certainly was him in the video, Mitty told the Post. So there was no mistaking him being in the video. But without any kind of testimony from her or her parents, you had enough reasonable doubt to say, we don't know for sure. So that's what happened. Now I want to go back to Geronda Johnson, or at the time, she was Geronda Johnson. People who support R. Kelly are, I guess, what do I want to say? They just can't stand the fact that Geronda was underage, and I guess she had a fake ID, and she used that to get into the courtroom. I always say, though, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. He did what he did. Nobody forced him to do what he did, and no one else can be blamed but him, regardless of whether she lied about her age. Do you have sex with people where age is in question and you have to ask for ID? I know that man, he only likes that age range of girls. So clearly, allegedly. But it just sets me off whenever Geronda comes up, because that's one of the biggest arguments of the supporters are about her. So let me go on. After the trial, one of Kelly's friends invited Pace to a party at the singer's house. By June 2009, she was having sex with Kelly, according to court documents. McDavid often helped her get into clubs, she said. So there's McDavid, co-defendant McDavid, being complicit. Again, it says the relationship ended months later when Pace and Kelly got into a fight in which she said he choked, slapped, and spat on her. In 2010, Kelly agreed to a $1.5 million settlement. All right, I see y'all in the chat. Okay. But in 2012, McDavid accused Pace of violating the terms of her non-disclosure. Emails acquired by the Post show. So they have emails. And this says, in quotes, your client is either lying or insane or both. This is McDavid talking to Pace's attorney. And it says, if Pace utters one word of this nonsense to anyone, I will personally sue her and you have her prosecuted. McDavid, speaking this week to the Post, said he never helped Pace get into clubs, never saw her with Kelly, and doesn't even know what she looks like. So that's just basically a professional liar. And I think we get an idea of what he's going to say and how he's going to perform on the stand, if he takes the stand, right? It says, quote, I'm vehemently saying those are all lies, he said. As I recall, she came back and tried to extort more money through her cousins. When asked if he ever tried to get help for Kelly, McDavid said he was bound by a confidentiality agreement and didn't want to go into detail. But he said that Kelly's issues were not ignored. Quote, Robert did everything he could to help himself, said McDavid. Quote, every opportunity I had to try to assist him to be a better person, I took. So here's this guy who is definitely morally bankrupt. He is clearly corrupt and just a dirty individual. But he himself, so R. Kelly obviously had everybody sign NDAs, right? Of course, his own manager or financial, whatever McDavid was to him, henchman. And he's binding himself to that when trying to talk to this news reporter. But then he also goes on to say every chance he got to try to help him be a better person, he tried to take that. Meaning R. Kelly's just a bad person, and I tried. I could only do so much. That's what he's trying to say. So last summer, Pace told her story to BuzzFeed, breaking her non-disclosure because of her concern for an old friend, Dominique Gardner, 26, who continues to live with Kelly. And mind you, this is right before, this is in January that this was published of 2019. It says, in quote, I know that these girls are brainwashed, Pace told the Post. I was in their shoes and I believed everything he was telling me as well. And this week, Michelle Gardner, Dominique's mother, spoke publicly for the first time about her fears for her daughter's safety. She said that for years she tolerated Dominique's relationship with Kelly because she came home for visits and could be easily reached by phone. But something changed and she hasn't seen Dominique in more than a year. In quotes, it says he's a sick, perverted person. She told the Post, I just believe something will happen if we don't get them out. I want to see my daughter. I do not want to be seen burying my child. End quote. Two other sets of parents are also desperate to see their daughters. They say are being controlled by Kelly. Angelo Clary, a Florida man, said an older woman in Kelly's camp impersonated a Sony employee in 2015 to persuade him and his wife to give her legal supervision rights over their daughter, Azriel Clary. She's an aspiring singer who was 17 and still in high school in Florida when she joined Kelly. Timothy and Jongelyn Savage of Georgia have been more public, even holding news conference outside Kelly's rented mansion in Atlanta to demand the return of their daughter, Joycelyn. She quit college in 2016 to be with Kelly. A dream stiller, I tell you. Kelly's manager, James Manson, had tried to stop the Savages at one point. He told them they could talk to Joycelyn, now 22, if they praised the singer on television, according to their attorney, Gerald A. Griggs. The Savages recorded one of his calls and provided it to the Post. The Post got all the evidence, huh? So it says in quotes, what I do need is for us to find a happy medium in which we can immediately begin communicating with your daughter. I get my client back to his career, Mason says on the recording. That is so just trifling. That's an understatement. Bartering them to some parents to be able to see their own daughter on the behalf of a sick, deranged person. All right, it goes on. The Savages also provided the Post with another recording, one of a conversation between Kelly and Joycelyn, made by Joycelyn with the help of a friend in 2015 before she moved in with the singer. At the time, they say she was frustrated that Kelly seemed to turn every conversation into sex. In quotes, I want you to get into the habit of telling me what color panties you have on every day, Kelly can be heard saying. He's disgusting. All right. In a statement provided to the Post, Kelly's management team said, Mr. Kelly will never stand between a parent and a child. If a child is an adult, that communication is between them. All of these women are adults and make their own choices. And again, what else do we expect them to say? It goes on. While Kelly has not spoken publicly about the latest round of accusations, other than to dismiss them as rumors, in his Instagram post, he has continued recording and performing. RCA recently paid for more than 6 weeks of studio time in Los Angeles. So even up to this point, RCA was still booking that studio time and shelling out that money. And I'm pretty sure whatever money they paid for studio time was very minimal in comparison to what they would see in return once he released the music, toured, and did all the things he would normally do. I guess what they didn't realize is that his life was shifting. At this point, there were already major protests at his venues and things like that. His concerts were being canceled. I'm pretty sure they must not have been paying attention because somebody should have seen some red flags at this point. But yeah, they still booked him the studio time. Studio workers were given non-disclosure agreements to sign and not allowed into the space while Kelly worked. But one worker says she was disturbed enough by what she witnessed to speak to the Post on condition of anonymity. Here we go. After Kelly left, she found a cup filled with urine on the baby grand piano, and the studio's wooden floor had been badly damaged with urine stains. The recording studio representative said she contacted RCA about the damage. The Post obtained from a former Kelly staffer photographs of the studio sent to Nancy Roof, RCA's vice president of administration. So the Post has the pictures of the studio, the piss on the floor, stained the floors with the piss. I mean, you rented studio time. What did he think he was buying the place? Wow. It says Roof did not return phone calls. Roof. So Nancy Roof, get this name, Nancy Roof, RCA's vice president of administration. Okay. I'm going to take a quick break and come over and see because I can't get into the comments from the phone. Okay. Chrissy Power, welcome back. Let me see here. Yeah, I think Cheryl Mack is testifying. I think we can say. It's crazy when the girls refer to him as daddy, but his own kids won't call him. That is so true. Yeah. Yeah, McDavid could be in both federal and state. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go look, but I think it was the Illinois where I remember all the paperwork. R. Kelly allegedly had a brief relationship with George and Regina Daniels' 19-year-old daughter. Chicago allowed kids in the court, and fans allowed too much illegal mess. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Authorities has that tape also. Yep, full of lies. Daryl Pause was in the pot too. He died, Kelly, and got a raise and stayed employed. Who are you talking about? Daryl Pause? Or are you saying Daryl's pause? That was his process to cover up. Yeah, definitely. Daryl's a dangerous person. He installed cameras in the ceiling and walls because he studied theater at Kenwood Academy. Oh, wow. I know for a fact he requested for a positive compliment when texting him or addressing him, basically ass kissing. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, disgusting. All right. Let's get to it. When asked about the damage to the studio, Kelly's management team responded, "This is an obnoxious question that reflects a malicious and intentionally defamatory motive by the questioner." This is how they answer the question about your client pissed all over our floors and ruined them and left cups of pee also. What's up? And they're like, This is an obnoxious question that reflects a malicious and intentionally defamatory motive by the questioner. What is this shit? This is crazy. This goes on to say, Kelly's continued relationship with Sony has been noted by many of his accusers. The women speaking out hope that this time the label's executives will act and help end what they considered a long-running cycle of abuse. Patrice Jones said she has found peace, but has not forgiven what Kelly did to her. In September 1999, Jones, then 17, realized she was pregnant. The then married Kelly broke down in tears. She said he told her his career would be ruined if she had the baby. She didn't want to get an abortion. Eventually, she said Kelly pressured her to. And imagine what that pressure was like from R. Kelly, as desperate as he probably was for her not to have that baby. Jones broke away from Kelly. She earned a college degree, built a career as a digital marketer, and had a daughter, a teenager who's now a straight A student, Jones says proudly. And in late April, she agreed to speak about Kelly for the first time. Quote, "I don't like going back into the past," Jones said. "I feel like God is the judge. Man is not the judge. Everything that he is doing, he's got to pay for it. He's probably already paying for it." And that's the end of this article. I had to share that article. It's too much. Yeah, the truth is the truth, no matter how disgusting. Yeah. So the link for that article, if you want to read it yourself, is in the description. It is a subscription based online paper or whatever. So that's why I actually read it, because everybody, doesn't like subscribing and stuff like that, and doesn't want to have to do it. So you're welcome. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure why there was pee in a cup. I'm sure the studio had bathrooms. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it about that? Do you think people were drinking the pee? Did you think, what was he doing? This goes right on back to, we got to have the urine is a thing with him. So, I guess while we're here, let me see if I have that. I had wanted to share, since yesterday, I wasn't aware that Court TV, most of their information is actually on their website and not their YouTube channel. I was checking their YouTube page for updates. There were some updates about the trial about the jury selection, that I did not cover because I just came upon it last night. Although, now that I'm thinking about it, I'll just wait and do that when we come back, probably on Saturday. Truth Seeker, welcome back. How did he miss potty training 101? He loves to pee on people and the floor and anywhere available. Sickening. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And this is all documented. The Post has a lot of the proof that I guess now the prosecutors probably have. And I'm even wondering, like, how many of these executives or handlers are actually testifying? Now, I'm really interested. And we're getting all these names down. So when we get the first names, because we're only getting first names of witnesses, I want to make sure I have all the information I can to do my own personal fact checking here. So, of course, when we're able to bring it to you, we'll have all that info because we did the work, But yeah, like, share, subscribe. I'm going to end this here. We are back tomorrow night with a tarot reading on Joycelyn Savage. So join the channel. It's 99 cents, I think, a month, or either $1.99, something like that. And come join us live. Other than that, that's going to do it. Till next time, y'all. Peace.